Hello, my little artists. It is I, Mr. Alexander, your crazy art teacher. Sorry, I got a little carried away with the hat and all. But yes, I am Mr. Alexander. Welcome back to art class. For those of you who were here last year, man, I can't wait to see you guys again. I really missed you guys. And for those of you who are new to Bear Creek, welcome. You are at an awesome school and you're going to have fun in this class. As for all you students, I wish I could give you a great big old bear hug right now, but since I can't, we're just going to do an air hug instead of a bear hug. There we go. Yeah. All right, so we're going to talk about art in everyday life in this first lesson. But first, I want to talk about the art supplies that you are going to need, not just for some of the future video lessons, but also to bring with you to school and bring with you to art class. See, here's the thing. As you guys know, those of you who have me before, you would usually just, mosey on down to the art class, and I would have the art supplies here ready to go, and I'd hand them out, and we'd share them and pass them around. And well, in today's germy COVID world, that's not a good idea to do that, and we're actually not allowed to for that reason. So until things improve, we're going to play it safe, and we're going to have our own art supplies. Now, this is a time where you may want to pause this. If you have a parent around and they've got some time, you might want to bring them in, have them come and watch this with you. Or at the very least, if you don't have a parent that's available right now, you can write down a list of the supplies I tell you, and then you guys can sit down with your class lists, because most of the supplies will be on there already, but you can check off the ones you're already going to be getting for school, and then you can see, well, oh yeah, but this thing we probably need to go out and get. So, first things first, let's talk about markers. Okay, the brand of marker you get does not matter. The washable part does. Okay, most of those class lists, they do say washable, and we especially want the washable ones for art because there's a lot of cool tricks you can do with these, and we're going to do all of them. So you want to make sure they're washable. Also, a little bit of advice. While most of these other school supplies and art supplies, you can get those at the dollar store. It's no big deal. But for markers, I would advise you getting these at another store. Here's why. The things at the dollar store have usually been on the shelves for a while. And so we know that markers don't age well, right? They're going to dry out if they've been on the shelves a long time. And so you may end up getting a box of markers that is either dried out or very close to being dried out in a couple of days. So best to play it safe. Go to a grocery store or a pharmacy or whatever and just get them from there. So let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, plastic bags. Specifically, you want to get a gallon bag. Okay, the thicker the better, but definitely a gallon size bag. And this is something that's also on the supply lists. You need to have one that you can set aside for art. And again, any brand will do. You can get them, wherever, dollar store, whatever. We have crayons, right? Any brand of crayon is cool. You might want to just stick with the 24, okay? You don't need to go crazy with the 300, color kit. Those are cool. But we gotta, in order to fit all these art supplies in the bag, you don't want to take up too much room with a big old box. So yeah, just 24 crayons, any brand, any place you get them, it's fine. We've got over here also, oh yeah, watercolors. Okay, you can get these. You can usually find them at dollar stores, but any store's fine. Any brand is okay. The ones that come with the brush, okay, that's going to be even better if you have your own brush. And this is probably something that is not on your school supply list. So this will be very handy to have in art, especially when it's time for us to do paintings, right? Okay, next thing we're going to look at, color pencils. Okay, sometimes these are called matte pencils, and most of these are on your school supplies list. Any brand should be fine. We've got glue, right? The white glue. It doesn't have to be this brand. If it says school glue or craft glue or whatever, this is totally fine. Next thing we're going to look at are, these scissors, or as my daughter likes to call them, skizzers, because that's how they're spelled. These are also on the regular school supply lists, and I think they pretty clearly say that they do want you to look at the blunt kind, which is little rounded pointy tips there. And that's especially good because if you put these in the plastic bag of your art supplies, then they can poke through, right? And not only poke through the bag, but they can poke through you. And that's not going to be a fun thing to happen. So just stick with the rounded ends, and I probably shouldn't throw these over my shoulder, so I'm just going to set them down over here. All right, pencil-y supplies. So first pencil-y supplies that I want to talk about are your pencils. Okay, this is something that's on your supply list. Any brand, that's cool. Erasers, right? We need erasers to erase the pencil marks that we don't like. And then you're also going to need, sharpener. This may not be on your school supply list, but just keep in mind that, usually I have the sharpeners that we all share. We can't share the pencil sharpeners. So it's going to be good for you to have a pencil sharpener to go with. Something that's going to be very handy and probably is not on your school supply list for your classroom, and that is a pencil case or a pencil bag of some kind. It's going to be handy to have this for the same reason that we want to have the rounded tip scissors, because once those pencils are sharpened, then they can poke through your little plastic bag. So this will kind of help prevent that from happening. If you don't have that, or you can't find one, you know what? A regular letter envelope that you might have around the house is a great place to store your pencils, because it's a little bit longer. It'll keep those points from going through the plastic bag. And last, we've got the white paper. Now, all the school supply lists on every grade ask for reams of white paper. I don't need all of it, but if you can pull aside about 10 pages of that white paper, we're going to need that for our lesson that we start next week. So white paper, also very important. I think that is it, but you're going to want to keep all those things in the gallon bag, and the idea is, you come from your classroom, you're going to come to art with that bag of handy-dandy art supplies, and those are the ones that only you will use. You put them back, you take the art supplies with you back to your classroom. And that way you're the only one who's touched them, you're the only one who's used them. We don't have to worry about sanitizing them or any of that crazy business. So, let's talk about art. The cool thing about art is that it's part of our everyday lives, and it's all around us, and we don't even really stop to think about it. But think about the websites that you go to, the video games that you like to play, music videos that you watch, or the really cool makeup and special effects that are in your favorite movies. Those are all made by artists. Advertisements, t-shirt makers, cake decorators, floral designers, sports and fashion photographers, makeup artists, fashion designers, and architects who design really cool buildings. Those are also artists. And, there may be some of you that know what you want to do when you grow up, but if you don't, and any of those jobs sound pretty cool, hey, art's the way to do it. And the cool thing to think about is that all those jobs and all those people that I just mentioned, they all started off as a student, a child just like you, in an art class. Pretty cool, huh? Well, I hope you guys have a lot of fun and you learn a whole lot in your classes online. And I cannot wait to see you guys again. So, till I do, stay safe, wear your masks, keep your hands sanitized, and we'll see you soon.